Okay, it is five after, so we are going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to Cayce Housing's 5-year plan, 2025 to 2029, and its annual plan for fiscal year 2026, July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. Today is Wednesday, April 2nd, and it is 10:05 a.m. Next slide, please.
CEO Hall,
Yes.
do we have a quorum present? I know you mentioned Miss Seymour and I were on the call. Did we need one more member for a quorum?
We don't actually need a quorum to go through the actual public hearing, but part of the plan was to approve the public hearing shortly after. So we would need a quorum for that. So hopefully someone else, another commissioner or the chair will sign in. And if you don't mind, maybe you can text someone to get them to join this meeting.
Okay, Lee, had you heard from anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me try. Go ahead, Mr. Hall. I'll try and reach out.
All right, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and continue. Um, Today, a public hearing, with a little help from my friends, I will go through this public hearing and with the help of the Development Compliance Manager, Robin Hudson, and more than likely our Chief of Staff, Lee McRoberts. We will get through this and provide as much information looking back at our previous 5-year plan from 2020 to 2024, working our way up to the actual plan for the upcoming 5-year period of 2025 to 2029. And at the end, we will have questions. We'll open the floor for questions or comments on the actual plan. So I look forward to this. So let's start out first with the mission and vision for Cayce Housing. Because Cayce Housing cares, we are leveraging the power of housing to build a foundation for individuals and families to thrive. That is the mission for Cayce Housing. And the vision, communities of opportunity where individuals and families can live, work, and thrive to their fullest potential. Next slide, please.
Yes, sir.
This is the activities timeline that is required through HUD because this entire process is a HUD process for public housing authorities, something that we do on an annual basis. And in the case of 5-year plan, we do every 5 years. There's a public comment period when we first publish the actual plan that is coming up. Then we take the plan to the Residential Advisory Board for their feedback. That happened in March of 4th. Then today is the actual public hearing. And what we're hoping to do is right after this meeting to go ahead and approve this plan so we can meet the due date of April 16th of this year. And of course, the fiscal year for Cayce begins July 1, 2025. We are on a July 1 to June 30 fiscal year. So closing out 2020 to 2024 5-year plan, what I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a look back and see what we have accomplished and what impact that we're making in the community of Cayce. So let's take a look. A strategic goal number 1 was to increase availability of quality affordable housing by improving the quality of assisted housing. The objective, continue public housing high performance status with public housing assessment strategy of 90% or greater. Second objective, maintain the public housing vacancies at a rate of 2% or less. The progress over the last 5 years, Cayce is a standard performer with a score of 76% on its last assessment from HUD, and the current occupancy rate is 95%, which is fantastic. Strategic goal number 2, promote self-sufficiency. and assessment development of families and individuals. Objective: increase the percentage of employed persons in assisted housing. What is our progress over the last 5 years? Establish economic and self-sufficiency opportunities for residents by enlisting community partners and creating programs that foster economic independence and self-sufficiency. What we have done is provided resources and services for seniors living in Cayce, provided opportunities for residents to participate in many economic development opportunities with community partners, hosted financial literacy workshops, targeted youth for employment, education, and life skills programs, and career development in employment and education. Strategic goal number 3, ensure equal opportunity in providing fair housing for all. Very, very important. Objective: continue affirmative measures that will facilitate access to suitable living environment, regardless of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, or disability. Objective: continue affirmative measures that will prove acceptable for persons with disabilities, regardless of unit size required. Our progress: reviewed annually to ensure that practices are not in place that violate fair housing regulations. Residents are provided information on the rights under the fair housing during initial lease up. The CH Care Coordinator handles resident complaints, hearings, and manages other issues and concerns brought forth by residents. CH ensures that team members participate in fair housing training annually. Standard operating procedures for grievance hearings were developed to ensure that residents are prepared to and have a fair hearing process. Strategic goal number 4, convert 41 public housing units to project-based vouchers. Objective: convert and close out Section 9 program. The Section 9 program is more commonly referred to public housing. Just an aside, Section 8 is normally referred to, well, Section 8 is what most people refer to it as, but it's actually the Housing Choice Voucher Program. So Section 8 and Section 9 are the two programs that we manage, two largest programs that we manage. Our progress at this point: $1.2 million rehab under contract, environmental cleared by Lexington County. Renovations have been completed on 25 of 41 units. The remaining units will be completed upon final conversion. Finalization of conversion will resume upon the resolution of the Spencer Road ownership. Once the issue is resolved, CH will be able to move forward, existing in public housing and converting the units to project-based voucher subsidy program. The latest news that I have on that is that we continue to work with the city of Cayce and the new city attorney on resolving the Spencer Road ownership issue. And so we took a look back at the last 4 years from 2024. I'm sorry, from 2020 to 2024. So let's take a look at what the next 5 years will look like. What are the goals that we will be working for on the community for Cayce? Next slide, please. We look to convert the 41 public housing units to project-based voucher and exit the public housing program. We want to increase the availability of quality affordable housing by improving the quality of assisted housing. Ensure that residents have access to services that promote self-sufficiency, quality of life, financial literacy, and economic development. Ensure equal opportunity in providing fair housing for all. Can we go back to the previous slide, please? I want to take a look at our goals again and just take a look at them. So we want to convert and move away from the public housing program. The project-based voucher platform, we will still serve the same population. That will not change. We'll just be able to serve them better underneath this platform. It is more stable. And over the years, the congressional appropriations from Washington, they have begun to give less and less appropriations to public housing program and more to the voucher program. So we want to make sure we're moving to the more stable platform in that case. The increased availability of quality affordable housing, the simple fact that we move to project-based vouchers is going to allow us to make sure that we do have quality affordable housing and even be able to make the necessary capital improvements that needed for the property. Ensure residents have access to services. That is always a big part of what we do when it comes to people. We want to make sure that we do more than just house, even though we love to refer to ourselves as housers. We want to make sure that we're promoting self-sufficiency, a good quality of life, a financial literacy, help individuals that may need help with financial literacy and economic development. And we want to make sure that we are in compliance with all fair housing requirements as seen by HUD. Thank you, Lee. We go to the final slide, and that is the presentation of our annual plan and our 5-year plan for 2025 to 2029, and for the annual plan for July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026. At this point, are there any questions on the plan, questions or comment?
Mr. Hall, if I
Yes.
may, I noticed that Miss Belkis and some of our resident family services staff is on the call. And I know that there was some discussion at the last meeting about what resources and what programming are available to the residents in Cayce. Maybe they could share with the folks on the call some of the things that they're doing with the residents in and for Cayce.
Absolutely. That's a very good idea. So, Ms. Belkis, if you don't mind. Or even Miss Katrina Bridget.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Hello?
We hear
Yeah.
you.
There you go. Yeah, my computer. So we're bringing our programs to Cayce. Unfortunately, they don't fall under the grant, but we're still giving them the services. So we're having Cayce Day, which is already scheduled for us to go out there. We invite them to all of our workshops that we are having here. We do provide transportation. I have them included in our Gen Z program. So I do have 2 of the young kids from Cayce coming. So we do bring our programs out there. We're doing more this year to have more staff as well. So we can have a whole Cayce Day with all the services. We've already done food distribution out there as well. We continue to do that on a monthly basis. So we are incorporating them. We have them for Toys for Tots. We included them in the Families Helping Families for Christmas. So we do have our programs out there. The residents are aware of what's going on with all our programs here.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Ms. Belkis. Ms. Katrina Bridget, would you like to weigh in?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Just like Ms. Belkis says, we are offering all of those programs to them as well. We also have the financial literacy. Some of them have attended some of the financial literacy classes. I do have the HEALS, TIES, and the PEARLS initiatives. Those initiatives pretty much promote economic empowerment, financial literacy, personal development skills, life skills. So they are welcome to come to all of those things, and we enter that information into the system. We give out flyers. So yeah, we're going to incorporate some more things as well, because I have heard the Cayce residents don't know a lot about our programs. So we are going to increase that promoting piece so that we can get to the Cayce residents so they'll have the information like all of the other communities.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Mr. Hall.
And so, as I had mentioned earlier, we are housers. but we do much, much more than that. And just as an example from Miss Katrina Bridget and Miss Belkis, they gave you an overview of some of the services and programs that we do have that are resident focused and are out there to help residents create a better quality of life, become more self-sufficient in their everyday life. Any other questions? Commissioner Seymour, are you there? Vice Chair Raleigh,
Yes, sir.
do you have any questions or comments for the presentation?
Oh, no, everything, was very well stated and very well presented. Following right along, all sounds good.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, Mr. Hall, it looks like we'll need to go ahead and hold the special called meeting on the 8th, like we had originally scheduled. We'll guess we'll poll so we can get the approval from the board because I don't think we had another board member, and Miss Seymour must not be able to. I know she said she was going to be on her phone, so she might be having trouble being heard. I know her number's definitely in the list.
Okay,
But I
so
guess we'll get that out, commission, to the rest of the board, vice chair, and get that on so we can just represent it and get the board approval so we can get it submitted by the 15th.
all right, thank you, Lee.
I did send a text message to the other three. I didn't receive a response while we were on the phone, so I tried.
No, that's completely fine, and I appreciate you.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
can just do the special call meeting on, actually, I believe it's the 9th. That would be next Tuesday.
We'll get that out today.
We'll get that out. So if there are no other questions or comments, and without further ado, we will close the meeting for the public hearing for the annual plan for fiscal year 2025 and for the 5-year plan from 2025 to 2029 in Cayce Housing. I want to thank everyone for their attendance and their time, and appreciate your efforts in this particular meeting. Everyone have a good day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.